Never be screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Never be screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as another night of racing action is upon us. As these amazing NASCAR truck drivers are ready to rock and roll here this evening for the QH Designs 150 here in the always amazing Metalheads Truck Series powered by Johnny Johnson Motorsports. As each and every one of these competitors, every one of these drivers are going to hop out on the racetrack right now as the qualifying session, or practice session, just came to a close. The qualifying session just getting underway. So they're going to be jumping out there onto the racetrack. They're going to be looking to try to lay down their quick times here this afternoon in what is going to be a very technical but difficult track. This is a short track race here at the beautiful Myrtle Beach Speedway here for the Metalheads Truck Series. And for each and every one of these drivers, I mean, it just comes with that extra little element, man. When we go to these short tracks, they're a little bit, they're a little bit more intense. The rivalries get built up. The action gets absolutely packed in. Just trying to keep yourself not only out of the carnage that may happen around you, but just trying to keep yourself pointing in the right direction as well. As we take a look at the 46 ride, Skylar Berry gets in there too quick, gets up the racetrack there, goes for that slide, and ends up into the outside fences. Caleb Kleinert right now with the quick time here in qualifying. Great lap out of that 196 ride, and I think slow is going to be fast here this afternoon. And now we do take a look, and it's Rooster Rodden. Rooster's going to jump up into the top spot. So Rooster Rodden now with the quick time here in qualifying. David Traylor jumps up into position number 2 here in this qualifying session. We do see Matt Hayden rolling back out there. We'll see what he can do on his second lap, as we saw Somerville able to jump into about the 6th position. Modesty on his first lap jumps into 7th, as that Rob Beaver says, let's go from the number 13 Gorilla Garage Door team. Let's get it, baby. Going in, showing the love here in this one, brother. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. This is going to be really, really interesting. Obviously, we haven't seen a ton of races here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, so things could get very, very interesting, because I'm not sure how far Fuel's going to go, but I have a sneaky suspicion that Fuel's going to go quite a ways here. And I think for a lot of these drivers, it's going to come down to, who takes potentially that, first wave of pit stops here late in the race to try to set themselves up here, a little later, because you're going to want the track position, and that track position late in the race could be the difference maker between picking up the win or being mid-pack, and unfortunately being kind of stuck back there and just nowhere to go and not enough time to navigate your way up to the front. As we do see Matthew Catania, the 318 machine, that beautiful Shop Fergie 22 ride, he's going to jump into it at the 12th position here in qualifying. Unfortunately, gets sideways back down into corner number 1. We'll have to wait and see if he tries to get any more laps in. I don't think he's going to. We do see Jesse Calloway up into 9th. Keith Prince with a good lap. Prince jumps up into position number 6 here. But for right now, it looks like Rooster Rodden's going to hold on to that top spot. But let's take a look here. Tyler Stevenson out there on the speedway. Where can Stevenson slide into? Can he get this C4 Energy machine up and into a better position? As of right now, does not have a qualifying lap in. So we'll have to wait and see if he can get that lap and potentially try to jump up here. And there it is. He gets a lap time in, and it's a top 5 run. Just right in that 5th position. His qualifying attempts will come to a close, but here we go. We see the diehard number 92 ride, that Sears machine out on the racetrack. Clinton Woodby's looking for some great speed out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately for Ashley Ellison Jr., he's the only one right now, other than Clinton Woodby, who does not have a lap time registered out there on the racetrack. And as Woodby goes across the line, that should get his first lap in, and he's going to jump up to the top of the charts. Quick time here for the 92. Woodby goes to the top here. So Woodby with the quick time. Unfortunately for Ashley Ellison Jr., he's qualified back in that 16th position. Looks like he got his 2 laps in here for the qualifying session. Looks like both laps did not count. Must have made contact with the outside fence or the inside wall both times. And unfortunately, we'll start back at the rear of the field, but he's going to have one of his teammates. Catania is going to be back there as well. So Catania and Ash Ellison Jr., the CCR Esports rides, are going to have to try to navigate their way through the field. They do have a couple teammates a little closer to the front, with Caleb Kleinert currently scored in that 4th position here in qualifying. Stevenson scored in 6th. So they may get a little bit of back and forth there. They may have to lean on the other two to try to figure out, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, where they need to improve, or what they need to do their setups to try to make this racetrack a little bit easier for them, where they can find that speed and try to jump up there and get a good finish here on the day, as we're going to get ready to see this qualifying session come to a close, and we're going to get ready to jump into our A-main feature event. But it's Clinton Woodby with the quick time out there on the speedway, man. What a run, what a drive there. Coming in last driver to lay down a lap time, and he lays down the fastest lap there of that qualifying session, man. What a move by that 92 ride here this afternoon, as we'll get ready to pull all these drivers out onto the racetrack. We'll get them stacked up, racked up, down pit side. Is starting in that pole position will be the Sears diehard number 92 of Clinton Woodby. To his outside, it is the 0-1, a Rooster Rodden. And starting in that third position in the Johnny Johnson Motorsports, QH Designs number 54 of David Traylor. To its outside in the Napa Auto Parts CCR Esports number 196, it's Caleb Kleinert who will start in position number 4. Starting in that fifth position on the racetrack, another QH Designs Johnny Johnson Motorsports number 00, it's Nate Cogdell who will start in that fifth position out there on the Speedway. So that's our top 5 ready to rumble, ready to go to battle here this evening as we got 150 laps on the board here for these competitors. 150 laps to try to figure out their way to the front and trying to put themselves into the winning position late in this race. Tyler Stevenson will start in 6, and then we do see Skylar Berry starting back in position number 7 here on the racetrack in that 46 right. To his outside will be that 3 machine of Keith Prince rounding out our top 8. Starting back in 9th will be the 5 right of Matt Hayden. To his outside will be, I believe it is the 28 right of Nathan Somerville, who will round out our top 10. Starting back in the 11th position in the Liquid Death number 4 is Jesse Calloway. Then his outside, it looks like it's going to be Matthew Catania, Rusty Modesty there in 13th. To his outside will be that 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr. Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. will bring up the rear of the field here, as unfortunately for him, inside lane does not move forward here. Outside lane gains a position as Colton Hardy did not jump out onto the racetrack in time. And for Hardy, he's going to have to start down pit side. This could definitely set him back here. He's going to be hoping to see an early caution flag, so that way he can jump back into the action. Obviously now going to have to try to gain some pretty good track position. He was registered to start in that 10th position, but missing the start of this race is going to set him back as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as the QH Designs 150 is underway, and they're already stacking up. Oh, baby, tire spin there off the get-go for the 0-1 of Rooster Rodden. Outside lane gets stacked up. Unfortunately, that will move that 0-1 backwards. And for Caleb Kleinert, he's also going to fall back quite a few positions here early in this race. For a bunch of drivers, they're saying thank you very much as they're able to slide right on by. As in front, it's Clinton Woodby with that top spot. David Traylor right there with them in position number 2. Nate Cogdell back in 3rd, and there is our first caution flag of the day. So our first yellow flag will be displayed here. Let's take a look and see potentially where this one kind of comes from, because I'm not too sure. There's 3 wide right here just in front of Ashley Ellison Jr. You're going to wonder if maybe that's kind of where it's from, as you do see Rooster Rodden up the racetrack here. As I don't know if he gets up into the outside fence or... Oh, there it is. Okay, so take a look here. The 46 right of Skylar Berry. He's able to keep it rolling, but sideways enough on the racetrack that iRacing throws that caution flag as he gets a bit of a love shove right there into corner number 1 from the 0-1 right. That gets him up into the outside fence. So a little bit of early damage here for Berry. Obviously some issues early on for that 0-1 right as well of Rooster Rodden. Man, Rooster started in the outside of the front row and has already fallen back into about the 6th position on the racetrack here and just trying to hang on to it. Obviously, he could have went a whole lot worse if that yellow flag did not come out. He was looking to fall back to basically the rear of the field, and unfortunately for Skylar Berry, he does fall to the back of the pack as he's down pit side. He's going to roll back out here after getting that damage looked at, damage repaired, and for the 46, he's now going to be back in that 16th position. Colton Hardy able to get out on the racetrack. He's able to jump in on the action here this evening. So, luckily enough, he was not down pit side for too long. Doesn't look like he lost a lap, so he'll rejoin the field and ready to try to battle his way up towards the top 10. It almost may have been better for Colton Hardy there to start down pit side, able to avoid some of the early contact and carnage there and everything else that was flying out there on the racetrack. And luckily enough for him, he's able to avoid any damage and able to jump right into the action and ready to kind of get back after it here in this one. But now he's going to have to try to gain a lot of spots here. He was supposed to start in 10th, and the driver that ended up starting in 10th for him, I do believe, had fallen back a little bit there, not too much, so he probably would have been right in the middle of that mayhem. Luckily enough, able to stick with it, as Mark Miller says, good luck, number 3, cheering on that 3 right of Keith Prince. We do see Harrison in the chat as well, says, let's go, Prince and Callaway, cheering on Prince and Callaway here this afternoon. Callaway up into the 8th position, Keith Prince a couple spots back behind him in position number 11 on the Speedway. As here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing, attempt number 2 early on here this evening, as this could definitely be one of those races that is just, filled with yellow flags, having issues out there. It's a very, very slick racetrack. One little bump, one wrong piece of contact can definitely send you or one of the competitors out there on the racetrack around on the Speedway, and that could quickly bring a yellow flag out. So you got to be very, very careful. You got to mind your P's and Q's. But right now for David Trailer, he's able to just find that outside groove, and he's able to put the power down. He works his way around Clinton Woodby. Woodby falls back to second, and it's David Trailer who jumps out in front. We know Trailer is probably going to be one of those drivers to look at here for potentially trying to win this race all night long, because the 54 ride, this is kind of his bread and butter. We saw him at our All-Star race at, I do believe that was North Wilkesboro Speedway. Where was that? I can't even remember where that was. It was another short track, and it always seems like the 54 ride is really, really stout, really, really strong when it comes to the short track races. And for right now, that he's gone out front here since that restart, he's been laying down some really quick lap times, and he's looking to continue that trend and continue to try to pull away from the rest of the field. Woodby still trying to just hang on to second here, as Tyler Stevenson has been looking to try to take it away from him. Nate Congdale has reeled them in, and here comes that 196 of Caleb Kleinert, who started in that 4th position, but with the stack up on the initial start, kind of fell back into about that 7th, 8th spot on the racetrack. Now he's battled back nicely, gained a couple more spots here, and now just inside our top 5 on the racetrack. So really no harm, no foul. He's able to keep on battling here inside the top 5. Is the 5 of Matt Hayden up 3 positions early on. He rolls there in 6th. Modesty and Matthew Catania both up 6 positions from where they started, now sitting in 7th and 8th on the racetrack, with Jesse Callaway there in 9th. Keith Prince rounding out our top 10, as Colton Hardy, who was supposed to start in that 10th position, missed the start of the race, had to start down pit side. Here he is, trying to gain some of that track position back. He's up into 11th here and looking to try to rejoin our top 10 now, as he clears Nathan Somerville for that 11th spot on the Speedway. Rooster Ron, our outside pole sitter, unfortunately kind of getting bounced around there, making that early mistake, spinning the tires on the initial start. The 0-1 now finds himself back here in that 13th spot on the Speedway, as Ashley Ellison Jr., Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., and Skylar Berry back behind him, rounding out the field. But out in front, it's all David Trailer, as David out in front and continuing to run away here with this one. The 54 ride is hooked up here. It didn't seem like he got a great qualifying run in, had to start a couple spots back, but man, for the 54 ride, he's shown that muscle and the skill here and the consistency with these quicker lap times, lap after lap after lap, as he's been pulling away from our 2nd place driver, Clinton Woodby. Is now here comes Stevenson. Looks like Stevenson says, you know what, I'm not waiting around any longer. He makes the move. He gets to the inside of the 92, steals that 2nd spot, and now for Tyler Stevenson, he'll look to chase down our race leader, and it's going to get a whole lot easier for him as the caution flag comes back out. Caution flag back out into the air, and unfortunately for all the Johnny Johnson Motorsports, Sherwin-Williams, number 3. Fans in the stands. Keith Prince gets tied up here in this one. Let's take a look and see what happens to this 3 ride, as he's got the 4 Callaway in front of him. Sends it back down into core number 1, and I feel like we're just going to see this rear end step out, and there it goes. Rear end steps out, he goes around, locks it down there on the bottom side of corner 1 and 2, and luckily enough, no one makes contact with him. He backs it up onto the racetrack, gets rolling. Unfortunately, though, caution flag is displayed, and for the number 3 machine, he will have to go to the rear of the field and try to work his way back up towards the top 10. Early mistake, but hey, at least it's early. You don't want to have those mistakes late in this race. You want to have them early on to where if something does happen, if you do run into one of those issues, that you can work yourself forward, as there, I believe now already our second Duck Donuts caution flag on the day. So our second Duck Donuts yellow flag here this afternoon in the QH Designs 150 here from Myrtle Beach Speedway. As David Trailer, I don't think David wanted to see that yellow. I think he wanted to really start to see some good, hard green flag laps being clicked off there on the racetrack, trying to, race his race, trying to inch his way towards that checkered flag. But obviously with now having this yellow flag, having all these competitors coming right back to his rear bumper, it's just going to mount another challenge, another issue, and potentially some more problems for the 54 ride to have to deal with out there on the Speedway, compared to just, kind of running out in front, minding his P's and Q's, hitting his marks, and trying to run away with this race. Now with Stevenson going to be right there with him on this restart, having Woodby, Kleiner, Nate Cogdell, all these guys right back on your rear bumper, ready to pounce, ready to make a move. If you make a mistake on the restart, you know that they're going to be there to take advantage of it as quickly as they can. So we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. We had one driver that came down pit road during this caution flag, and that was that 3 machine of Keith Prince. So Prince heads down pit side here, gets some fuel, tires, anything else that he desires, and he'll get ready to jump back into it, jump back into the battle here, and try to work his way back up towards the front of the pack here. Now, I don't know what our stage break is going to be. That is going to be very interesting here. Let me take a look. I think it's 35. Okay, so lap 52 should be our stage break here this evening. So stage break at lap 52, that should be, I think it's 35% of the laps is when we see that first stage break of the day. Now it could be 30%. If it is 30%, that's probably 45 laps, so we'll have to keep a close eye on that one. But obviously for David Trailer, he's just looking to try to hopefully keep on and trying to lead all these laps. Unfortunately for Clinton Woodby, our pole sitter, he is falling backwards here, just trying to hang on to the top 5 right now as he loses a spot again on this restart to not only the 196 of Caleb Kleiner, but also loses a spot to Matt Hayden. Now has that number 6 of Rusty Modesty working to his outside. And now here comes Nate Cogdell and the 97 of Colton Hardy. Looks like Hardy's got a good ride here this afternoon. Didn't qualify the best, then had to start down pit road, and for the 97 ride, here he is trying to inch his way up and through the traffic here. He's up into the 7th position from the back of the pack there. This has been a good drive for that 97 ride, and he's looking to continue it on here, trying to work his way up into the top 5 and maybe into the winner's circle here this evening at Myrtle Beach Speedway. But right now, it's all David Trailers. Hang on to it. The 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. Little squirrely down and out corner number 2. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it, keep it pointed in the right direction. Keeps on battling here on the racetrack as David Trailer, though, out in front, continues to lead the way. As David Trailer, Tyler Stevenson 1 and 2. Then we see Caleb Kleiner back there in 3rd. Matt Hayden up into position number 4, and Modesty able to clear Clinton Woodby for that 5th position on the racetrack. And for our pole sitter Woodby, who looked really strong that first initial start, he was able to clear him, able to keep himself up there for that lap and a bit. He battled hard there in that second restart, and now all of a sudden it just seems like he continues to fall a little farther back here. You know, wonder whether or not maybe he's trying to save some tires, save some fuel. What is the game plan here out of this 92 ride, and how does he try to, correct any mistakes that he's made, or try to, hopefully have this car come into him that he finds that speed later in this race to get back into the battle. As out in front, though, David Trailer continues to lead the way. As Eric Hardy in the chat says, "Go get him, boy, go get him," cheering on Colton here again this afternoon, says, "One at a time." One at a time is right. That's all you can do. One at a time. Try to pick him off. Slowly but surely work your way up there to the front of the field. As you still got a lot of laps. Excuse me, a lot of laps, a lot of time here to keep on making moves, to keep on racing your way up towards the front of the field here. You take a look back at Rusty Modesty. Modesty's kind of going through that same procedure, clicking him off one at a time. He made that pass and got around Clinton Woodby. Now he's gotten around the 5 right of Matt Hayden, and he's looking underneath of Caleb Kleinert, looking to see if he can move his way up and into 3rd. And for right now, it seems like that 6 ride has got a pretty decent truck out there on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see if he can keep inching his way up towards the front of the field, as we do see Colton Hardy and now that 318 of Matthew Catania. They're door-to-door back here for that 7th and 8th position. Colton's kind of stuck a little bit more on that outside lane, and honestly, I feel like the outside groove is just going to be so hard to make passes or complete passes, even just try to hang door-to-door with somebody, at least for a set of corners, man. It's very, very tough here at Myrtle Beach to try to use that outside lane to your advantage, especially early on in this feature event. But for Colton Hardy, doing a great job at it. But for the 318 of Matthew Catania, that's kind of what he just has to work with. And as the 97 push up the racetrack down through 1 and 2, he'll be able to just put the hammer down, sail in front of him, and take over that 7th spot on the Speedways. We did see Rusty Modesty also finally able to work his way around Caleb Kleinert. So Kleinert falls back into position number 4. And now we do see Woodby back around Matt Hayden. So Clinton Woodby starting to work his way back up there. He's able to find his way around Hayden. Hayden falls back into 6. He's now under attack from that 318 of Matthew Catania. As we do take a look a little farther here, you do see the 4 ride of Jesse Calloway right here into the mix. Nate Cogdell's back there, rounding out our top 10 with Ashley Ellison Jr. They're in 11th. Skylar Berry, Rooster Rodden, Keith Prince, they're in 14th. Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., they're in 15th. And then we do see Nathan Somerville going around here all by himself, and that is going to bring a caution flag out. And oh, baby, that was a close call right there for our race leader, David Trailer. Is Nathan Somerville just gonna go around here? Let's take a look back at it, see what happens here to this 28 ride. So he's back deeper in the field, obviously struggling here, already back quite a ways. Looks like he already had an off-track excursion, and this sends it into corner number 1 and 2 here, and goes around. And look at that. Oh man, maybe a little bit of contact there for that number 54, but we do see Somerville. He's already back. This was probably roughly around that 14th position, and out of corner number 2, loses the rear end, goes around, ends up into the inside fence, does not catch a caution flag for this. So this is when he basically gets it pointed back in the right direction, gets rolling again, heads back down through corner number 3 and 4, and then this is where we see this caution flag fly. Let's take another look at it. Here it goes, just sends it into the corner. Rear end steps out and around on him, and he locks her down. Car goes around, and unfortunately that will bring out another yellow flag on the Speedway. And man, that was a very, very close call there for David Trailer, as we do see a lot of these drivers head down pit road. So pit stops underway here. You see Clinton Woodby down pit road. There's Colton Hardy, Skylar Berry's down there. Everyone's down pit road except for 2 drivers. The 0-1 of Rooster Rodden did not come down pit side, and neither did the 3 machine of Keith Prince. So Rodden and Prince do not pit here on lap number 37 with everybody else, and that is going to make things very, very fun. Now, Prince was down pit road on lap 18, so at least he does have a little bit better fuel in that 3 ride. For Rooster Rodden, he hasn't made a pit stop yet today. So for the Lost Society Pennzoil Ford F-150 that he has out there on the racetrack, is it's the trucks here, so he's got the F-150 there rolling. So for Rooster, not making a pit stop yet this afternoon. If we go back green flag racing and we see another good green flag run, the big question mark will be, how far can he roll? How many laps can he continue battling? Even if he keeps in that top position and he leads the way here, is he going to be able to kind of hold these guys off for, 5, 10, 15 laps, 20 laps? Whoever knows how many laps this first stage is, but, then he's going to have to pick here off cycle with everybody else, and that could really affect his day at the Speedway. But trying to play this out to potentially give himself some stage points here this evening. So for the 0-1, he's looking for the stage win. He's just going to have to try to hold off a lot of fast cats back here behind him, but he's shown some speed out of this ride, qualifying on the outside of the front row. This has not shown that speed yet so far throughout this feature event, but let's see if he can find it right now, trying to lock in some stage points. Here we go. Green flag back out into the air. Great job by all these drivers. Everyone able to hit their marks, and everyone able to, for the most part, keep themselves pointed in the right direction, but there goes the 3. Keith Prince. Prince gets tied up, turned around. Caution flag is back into the Speedway. Do see Nate Cogdell also turned around there down the backstretch as well. So, quick caution flag, and for Rooster Rodden, he does stay out in front. But let's take a look back here and see the contact for this 3 machine. So for Prince, he's got the 51 ride of Tyler Stevenson working his back bumper. I'm not sure if Stevenson gives him a little hand here, shoves him in a little deep down into corner number 1. Let's take another look at it. So for the 3 ride, I think he might get a little help here into the corner. Let's take a look. So 51 gets a good run, and then right here, this is where he's going to get a piece of him. Kind of gets in there, gets into that left rear quarter panel, the 3 ride that gets him sideways. Once they're spinning sideways, you got no forward bite. You're just kind of holding on, and he's going to get a little contact maybe from the 92. The 5 ride of Matt Hayden, really nowhere to go here as he's kind of just stuck in that middle groove. In the 3 ride coming down, clips him, spins him sideways here, and then obviously you see the 3 ride also getting a piece of the 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. Cogdell ending up getting some pretty good damage out of that as well. But another caution flag and another restart here on the horizon. Let's take a look back and see what this 3 ride can see from this restart. Let's jump right on board here with Mr. Prince and see what he sees out there on the Speedway. Here we go, down to corner number 1. There's the contact, and just gets sideways, then more contact, finally goes around, and that's not a fun spot to be on the racetrack. See the damage that Hayden gets, the 0-0, getting clipped. Man, these guys just, unfortunately, not a lot of room, not a lot of places to go out there on the racetrack, and a lot of drivers getting tore up, and unfortunately, I do believe that's going to send Tyler Stevenson here to the back of the pack as well for potentially kind of getting that yellow flag kind of underway. So I think he's either going to take an EOL by design, or the admin group is going to hand one out to him there. But nonetheless, Stevenson will go to the back of the pack here. He'll be back there with Nathan Somerville, Keith Prince, who's down pit road. Looks like they've got this truck for the most part fixed back up, and he's going to roll back out there and try to get back into the battle. Now, I do believe for Keith Prince, he has lost a lap though, so that is a heartbreaker for the 3 ride. So he will need another quick caution flag. Another quick yellow could give him the lucky dog to wave around back on a lead lap and back into the battle here today. But we're gonna get ready to go back to green flag racing, as in front it is that 0-1 ride of Rooster Rodden. Rodden has the top position, looking to try to hang on to it. David Traylor, Rusty Modesty, Caleb Kleiner, Matthew Catania, the rest of our top 5 out there on the racetrack looking to take it back away from that 0-1 ride. But a great restart, great launch there for the Lost Society 0-1 ride, but the outside groove looking strong as David Traylor battling right back to his outside. We've seen Traylor find a ton of speed in this 54 truck and open up a couple decent leads, and he's looking to use that muscle here again as he cruise controls around the outside of that 0-1 ride. In for Traylor, jumps back out in front here. Now we take a look at the 6th ride. Rusty Modesty's right there. He's going to try to take advantage of that 0-1. Just has not been able to clear him as of yet, but Rusty's working his way up and into 2nd here. Ron will hang on to 3rd, but it may not be for long, because here comes the freight train. Here comes Catania. Here comes Jesse Calloway, Caleb Kleiner, that 92 of Clinton Woodby. Barry's right there as well, all ready to pounce, ready to work their way up towards the top 5 out there on the Speedway and try trying to chew up and spit out potentially that 0-1 rider Rooster Rodden. May be the way to get it done here in this one. But out in front, it is David Trailer who still got the top spot. So David is leading the way here, has that 54 right at the front of the field and looking to try to keep everyone else back there at bay as he comes down across the line. Half a second between himself and Rusty Modesty. Catania rolls there in third. Now Catania did not get a good qualifying run in, but for the 3:18 ride, man, he's kind of bounced back here nicely. Qualified all the way back in about, I want to say that was about the 14th position. And here he is now up 11 spots and into position number 3 on the Speedway. So a great run going so far for that ShopFerky22.com. Myrtle Speed Shop, one rail, number 318 machine as the high-speed performance ride. Currently trying to work his way around that 6 of Rusty Modesty for that top spot out there on the racetrack, as I do believe our first stage of the day is either about to just come to a close or it's already come to a close. They may have called it there with that last caution flag. We'll have to wait and see as David Trailer down across the line will complete lap number 52 on the Speedway. Catania Modesty back there in that second and third position. Jesse Calloway's in fourth with Caleb Kleinert there in position number 5. Skylar Berry's back in 6. Clinton Woodby's fallen all the way back into 7th now with Matt Hayden, Rooster Rodden, Ashley Ellison Jr. Our top 10 out there on the Speedway. Colton Hardy's back in 11th with Tyler Stevenson there in 12th. Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Nathan Somerville, Nate Cogdell, and Keith Prince rounding out our field out there on the Speedway. But out in front, it is still all David Trailer as David's looking to try to continue to pull farther and farther away from the rest of these drivers as we're just over 1/3 of the way through this race, just past the 1/3 marker here this evening. So about, I don't know, probably about 60% of this race left to go down across the line. So 55 laps down, 95 laps left to go here. And for these drivers, they're clicking the laps off here in a quick hurry. If this stays clean and green, if we do have to see green flag pit stops here, they can click this race off and put it into the history books here rather quickly, because they can click off 3 laps in a minute. So virtually that's what? In 10 minutes, that's 30 laps. We got 90 laps left to go. That's 30 minutes of racing action here, plus a little bit here for pit stops and a little bit there for the extra few laps. But, man, they could really put this one into the history books. But, man, the caution flags are going to chew up a lot of time. And for these drivers, they knew that coming into it. They knew that this race was going to play a lot like maybe an Ohio Speedway kind of style of a race. I feel like this racetrack is a lot like Ohio, maybe just a little bit more rough now that they don't have the patching. I know Ohio had added in a better strip of asphalt through like the bottom middle lanes there at the racetrack, because you just see the 33 get lose that rear end, goes for a slide, comes to a stop there on the bottom side of corner number 2, and that's where the caution flag comes out. So another yellow flag here on lap number 57 here this afternoon. But across the line, they complete lap number 58 out there on the racetrack. And now obviously it's decision time. Do you come down pit road? Do you stay out? Do you try to get maybe tires? What's the game plan? As we see Rooster Rodden's down pit side, Nathan Somerville's down pit road. Keith Prince was able to get the lucky dunk. So great break there for Prince as he's back on the lead lap, back into the battle here this evening, and he'll look to try to, keep up this fight here, trying to battle his way up to the front of the field. As we do see the 54, David Trailer also comes down pit road. Oh, man, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be fun, chat, because I don't know really how far these guys can go on a tank of fuel, especially with how many caution laps we have had, or potentially how many caution flags we may still have. If you get that track position, like for David Trailer, if he can somehow stretch this fuel out for virtually the next 90 laps of racing action, he may not have to come back down pit road again throughout this race. And if that's the case, everyone else may still have to make that additional pit stop. And if they've got to come down pit road, if they got to pit one more time here throughout this race, that's going to put them back in behind the 54. And eventually, whether it's through racing on the Speedway or if it's racing, just down pit road to get that little splash of gas and go through these caution flags, eventually it will cycle that 54 rider, David Trailer, back up to the front of the pack. And it'll be really, really interesting to see, how this is going to play out for him. Obviously giving up a ton of track position there to head down pit road and get some fuel there on the Speedway, giving up the top spot as well. So that's going to hand the race lead over to Matthew Catania. Catania is now our race leader, so down through the Geico restart zone. He's got control of it, and he waits late in the box, gets a great launch, great jump there over that 6 of Rusty Modesty. Modesty is going to fall back into second, but not before. He battles at least a little bit here, Catania. He knows that it's going to be tough to try to complete this pass on that outside lane, so he's going to continue to stick his nose in there, looking for runs, hoping to try to battle for that race lead, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take it away from Catania here this afternoon. And you do see Caleb Kleiner battling his way back up there as well. He's now working to the outside here. Modesty looking to see if he can try to join his teammate here at the front of the field. The CCR Esports trying to jump up here and go 1 and 2 out there on the racetrack. And all of a sudden, Jesse Calloway in the 4 car in position number 4 and looking for more out there on the Speedway. Great run going early on here for Jesse Calloway. So he'll look to try to hold off Matt Hayden. Hayden's going to look down to his inside. Here comes Clinton Woodby. Here comes Colton Hardy, both right there, ready to bounce as they're just lurking outside of our top 5. Stevenson has worked his way back up now into the 8th position as well after getting tied up, as we do see some more issues. Caution flag's going to come back out here. Bit of a big one. He says Skylar Berry turned around. David Trailer slow. The 28 is Somerville slow. Berry and Ashley Ellison Jr. both turn the wrong direction here as well. Let's take a look back and see what brings out yet again another caution flag out there on the racetrack as tight racing, and it looks like maybe here a big move there from the 0-1. They end up into corner number 1, basically 3 wide, and oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so they kind of come in 3 wide. I mean, late move here by obviously that 0-1. Let's play this forward here a little bit. So a bit of a late move here right there from the 0-1 ride, and as they're 3 wide, Ashley Ellison's trying to leave room up on the outside for the 46, but unfortunately the 46 doesn't realize they're 3 wide. Probably expected the 133 to be a little lower on the racetrack. They make contact. Barry gets sideways. Then obviously for Ashley Ellison, he's checking up, trying not to run over or run through that 46 ride, and unfortunately basically gets stopped there. And David Trailer trying to follow in behind them with such speed and momentum, could not get checked up in time. Helps spin that 33 right around. Then you see the 28 up into the outside fence. Looks like he's just able to squeeze by Skylar Berry there to avoid any more contact and damage there for that 46 machine. But for David Trailer, Ashley Ellison Jr., they were back down pit road. So wasn't Skylar Berry, and Jimmy Fitzmaurice and Nathan Somerville all headed back down pit road right there. Obviously getting some repairs, trying to make sure their cars are good to go and making sure that they are good to try to keep on battling here. And that's going to give a lot of these drivers, including themselves, an opportunity to make another pit stop and inch that much closer to potentially being good on fuel here for the rest of this race. As Catania, though, out in front, he's got the top spot. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. As interesting to see, where do they choose? Where do they line up out there on the racetrack? And it looks like for Matthew Catania, he is going to choose the outside lane again here for this restart. So he jumps to the outside and gives that inside lane up again to Rusty Modesty. So obviously for the 318, had a great launch, great run there, able to battle to the outside of that 6 ride, keep himself in front of Rusty Modesty. And for Catania, he's hoping to do the exact same thing again here in this restart. Now he's also potentially going to bring that 4 ride up there and around him. We'll have to wait and see if maybe the 4 machine of Jesse Calloway can follow him right on around and up into position number 2 here this evening. So far, it's been a really good run there for that 4 ride of Calloway's. We do see the lights staying on at least one more time here for the Duck Donuts caution flag, as I do believe this is our our 6th caution flag of the day already. 6 yellow flag out there on the speedway. It's never fun. Obviously, these drivers, they want to see more green flag laps, but man, when the intensity's up, the power is up, all these drivers are just doing everything they can for every position. Unfortunately, though, this is a tough technical racetrack. We talked about at the top of the show, and for these drivers, those simple little mistakes, those little bit of bumps or scrubs into the outside fence or into one of your fellow competitors can take them around or take yourself around in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. So you got to be really careful. You got to mind your P's and Q's, and even if you got to slow down the pace a little bit to help yourself out, it's going to be a lot more beneficial than spinning yourself out there on the racetrack. As here we go, back to battle, and this time, great restart for Rusty Modesty. Modesty able to stick with that 318 of Matthew Catania, and it looks like at least for now, it looks like Modesty may be able to try to slide up in front of Catania and steal this race lead away from that 318 ride. Catania's going to stick with them, trying to stay strong here on that outside groove, but and it's a tight battle here. It looks like Catania will stay out in front just by, half a truck length, not even, maybe half a nose there. But it seems like down through corner 1 and 2, Modesty may get a little bit of a better launch. But, man, caution flag comes back out. It's probably going to go back to last lap. And I believe that is going to be Matthew Catania to hold on to that race lead. So he will stick out in front. And unfortunately, see some more issues here. Tight racing back here just outside our top 5. That's Colton Hardy in the 97, Ryan, the 51 of Stevenson there on the outside lane. Looks like they made contact, not once, not twice, but looks like 3 times or so. And finally, for the 97, he goes around right here. Let's take a look here and see exactly what happens, because they're tight together. They are bouncing hard off of one another. And I believe for the 51 of Stevenson, just trying to make that move on the outside lane. Doesn't look like for at least a lap beforehand that they really made any contact, but he's got not a lot of room to go forward here with the 92 rider. Clinton Woodby still trying to roll that outside lane as well, but right here out of corner number 4, almost looks like the 51 kind of comes down into the 97 right a little bit right there as he's trying to drive it down, trying to keep himself out of the fence. You can kind of see how the 97 is following that dotted line right there. He's kind of still right on it. Stevenson comes down the lane into the 97. That gets the 97. Hardy obviously loose there, but also loses the rear end for the 51, where he washes back down the racetrack into Colton Hardy again. Now he's trying to correct it, and overcorrects, snaps back down into the 97. Finally turns him up the racetrack and into his QH designed teammate there of Nate Cogdell. So pretty solid contact there for Cogdell. Pretty solid hit there for honestly the 97 and the 51 right as everyone else tried to squeeze through there. And it does look like for the 133, he's just gonna, oh man, he may actually get a shot here. Looks like Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. couldn't get checked up in time. Runs through the back end of that 133 ride. Jacks him up, spins him around, gives him some pretty good damage, and then he's going to get backed into again by that 97 right up. Colton Hardy right there is another caution flag displayed and another restart on the horizon. And that's kind of what we talked about when it came to, fuel strategy, maybe even tire strategy. I don't know if tires are going to play a huge factor here, but obviously for that fuel strategy, I think that is going to be the name of the game. It's going to play a lot like Iowa Speedway or Ohio Speedway, where else is kind of like this. Martinsville a lot of times is like this here, where there's a lot of caution flags. There's a lot of issues out there, especially on these restarts as cautions breed cautions. And unfortunately, as these yellow flags continue to stack up and stack up and stack up, it's allowing these guys to save so much fuel that they go so much farther out there on the racetrack. And honestly, being probably the first driver to make the final pit stop a lot of times finds his way into victory lane. And I think for a bunch of these drivers, that's kind of their game plan. When you look back at David Traylor, when you look at maybe even now for Colton Hardy, some of these guys that were just down pit side, maybe that is their thought process this entire time. Here as we're back to green flag racing. Catania able to continue to battle here for this top spot, but so isn't that 6th right of Modesty. Modesty's just sticking right there with them, man. And this could really be burning up their stuff at the front of the field here if they're having to push that much harder, that much tougher to try to complete these passes and keep one another within striking distance or door-to-door out there on the racetrack. It can definitely burn through your tires a whole lot sooner out there on the speedways. That you do see Catania again able to clear Modesty, but the caution flag comes right back out. So another caution flag, and this time it will be for, I think, or Callaway gets tied up here. They're 3 wide here, down and out of corner number 2. Here we go. You see Callaway down the middle, and I don't. Oh man. Okay, so the 33 is kind of coming up. I don't think the 33 and Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. here, I don't know if he realized that they were 3 wide coming out of the corner. I think he was expecting the 4 wide to keep going up, and as he kind of comes up off the racetrack, the 4 wide's got to keep it down low because he doesn't want to pinch the 97 any farther into the outside fence there, and they just kind of get tangled together. He ends up turning the 33 up into the outside fence. Then Ashley Ellison Jr. gets into his back end, which spins the 4 wide of Callaway around. And then you see the 0-0 of Nate Cogdell trying to keep himself out of it. He goes for a slide right down into pit lane there. And unfortunately, some more carnage, some more mayhem, and another yellow flag out there on the racetrack. So another opportunity for drivers to, one, either come down, get fuel, get tires, get anything that they desire. As you do see Caleb Kleiner makes his way down pit road, so didn't Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. coming back down pit side. Same with Jesse Callaway. Tyler Stevenson also down pit road. Ashley Ellison Jr., Nate Cogdell, who does find himself now, leave 1, maybe 2 laps down out there on the speedway for that QH Designs Johnny Johnson Motorsports 0-0 machine. As this is going to mix things up here a little bit more. Okay, so a couple drivers towards the front, back down pit side here, making what could be their final pit stops of the day, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here after our 8th Duck Donuts caution flag of the day. Alrighty, here we go. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Oh man, a lot of those Duck Donuts caution flags, and those Duck Donuts definitely looking really, really scrumptious here this evening. As out on the racetrack, these drivers, they're looking pretty good themselves. As here we go, back to green flag battle, and here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and the action is not done yet. They are still beating and banging, battling here, especially on these restarts, so that they need to gain and try to get every single spot they can. And now look out! Oh, it's Colton Hardy and Nate Cogdell tied together. Caution flag is back out on the speedway. Yellow flag, back out. Yellow flag, back out here. Looks like Colton Hardy, he's all over the back bumper here of the 3 ride. Keith Prince, and I think he's getting checked up to avoid running completely through Prince and just loses the rear end here. Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. trying to get checked up as the 97 shoots down the racetrack. Gets a little piece there of that 51 ride, but man, Nate Cogdell, once again, all of a sudden has nowhere to go. He sees his QH Designs team truck there. Turn sideways in front of him. Luckily enough, both drivers, not super hard contact, but still enough right there. But enough that they get stopped there on the racing surface, and the caution flag gets displayed once again here this evening for another Duck Donuts caution flag out there on the speedway. So Hardy, he's going to stay out. Does not come down pit road. not come down pit side, but we do see Tyler Stevenson back down pit lane. Same with Ashley Ellison Jr. Jesse Calloway was back down there getting some repairs, getting his car fixed up here. Nate Cogdell's hoping to just slowly but surely try to work his way back into the action, but another yellow flag and another restart here on the horizon. And for Catania, he's loving it, man. If he can just save enough fuel to get to the end of this race with all these yellows, man, it may be possible. And if he can go that far and, you know, that track position, that top spot, maybe the difference maker between winning this race or giving it away later on if you get tight on fuel. And I think for the 318 ride of Catania, for Modesty, I think for a lot of these drivers, they know it's going to play out a lot like those races where we see, you know, the fuel run being about 40 laps for a tank of fuel at a racetrack like this. But with all the yellow flags, you can virtually make it 60, 70 laps under, you know, a lot of those yellow laps out there on the racetrack. And if you can go that far, then it could potentially be the difference maker between picking up the checkered flag or having to give it up late in the race running out of fuel. So if we see a longer green flag run, I think things get real tight here for a lot of these guys like Catania, Modesty, Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden. A lot of these guys will get a lot tighter on fuel, a lot quicker than Skylar Berry and Rooster Rodden. As you do see the 0-0 of Cogdell, he's waiting for these guys to go on by, so he'll get stopped there on the back straightaway. He'll pick up the rear of the field, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. So Catania again, another restart, looking for another big launch, trying to keep these guys back there at bay. As here we go, green flag back into the air. Great launch though, down low for Rusty Modesty's. Modesty's right there with him as he's looking down the inside, trying to complete his passes. And Alessandro in the chat says Myrtle Beach is only like an hour and a half away from my house. That is absolutely amazing, Anna. That's absolutely amazing. Listen, I wish Myrtle Beach Speedway was an hour and a half away from my house. That is for certain, man. What is it like for you there, Anna? What is it like for you there today? You guys got snow on the ground? You guys, I don't think you guys do, man. Myrtle Beach is, what, South Carolina? So, I mean, I'm assuming you guys got no snow. It was probably like 75, 80 degrees today. Nice, beautiful weather. Can go to the golf course or even to a racetrack. Oh man, I'm jealous. I wish I was down there. That is for certain, because up here in Canada, man, we still got a few feet of snow on the ground. We are still very far into the negative temperatures, and it is not looking any better any day soon. As we do see the yellow flag come back out as Anna says, I actually live in Somerville, South Carolina. Let's go, Somerville. Let's go. Oh, man. I would totally live in Somerville. That sounds like heaven. Somerville, South Carolina. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Anything with summer in it sounds a whole lot better than Canada. That is for certain. As here we go. Contact issues, around goes the 0-1 of Rooster Rodden. Hard contact up into the outside fence as it looked like Skylar Berry. I don't know if Berry got a shove here from the 54 at David Trailer. That kind of got him bent out of shape, but obviously something happens here. Take a look out of the corner. Looks like, oh, right here. Berry gets up into the outside fence. As he does, he starts to bounce off the wall. Trailer gets into him, obviously not realizing that he's in the fence and losing that momentum. And as Berry shoots down the racetrack, it basically just right hooks that 0-1 rider Rooster Rod and shoots him up the racetrack and into that outside fence. And that was a big hit there for Rooster, man. That one may keep him down pit side for a very long time here this evening. As Anna says, it was beautiful today. 70 degrees. 70 degrees. Oh, man. Oh, that sounds so nice. 70 degrees. That's literally what my house is set at right now. For heat. That's what my house is set at. My house is set at 70 degrees. And it's just that outside. I wouldn't even have to have my heat on. What in the world? I don't even know what is 70 degrees. It's like 20 degrees Celsius. That is so nice. Let me see here. 70 F2 Celsius. 21 degrees Celsius. Oh my God. That sounds like such a great day. Oh, no. I wish. 21 degrees Celsius. Oh, man. Whew, I would love that. Supposed to be 80 by the weekend. All right, that's it, Anna. Anna, it's official. It's official. I'm moving in. I'm moving in, Anna. I'm moving in. Clean up the guest room. I'm coming down. I'm moving to South Carolina. I'm going to Somerville, baby. Let's go, chat. Let's go. We're going to Anna's house, okay? I'm going golfing every single day. That is for certain. Oh, man, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That is crazy. Here we go. Back to green flag racing. Matthew Catania, Rusty Modesty, door to door once again for another big restart. As Matt Hayden and Clinton Woodby hanging right there with them. Here comes Caleb Kleiner trying to work his way back up there. As deeper in the pack, we see Keith Prince running into issues down and out at quarter number 2. Looks like he goes for a slide. He's trying to back it back out here onto the racing surface. He's got to be careful, though. If he gets rolling here, our lead drivers are coming right up to him, and if he rolls back out on the racetrack, it could bring out the caution flag, but they're going to get the yellow flag anyways. As it looks like Somerville's going to go around, and for the lady from Somerville, the driver out there for Nathan Somerville, going to go around. Let's take a look here, obviously, at what happens to the 28, but also what happens here to that 3 machine as well. It's down through corner number 1 and 2 on the exit right there. Just looks like he loses that rear end. Truck loses the rear end, steps out and around on him. He washes up the racetrack into the outside fence, up there on the racing surface. That brings the caution flag back out onto the speedway. Now let's take a look and see what happens here to Keith Prince in that number 3 machine as he runs into maybe the similar fate. Maybe he just gets a little help right here. I think right there he gets a little helping hand. The 51 rider, Tyler Stevenson, kind of gives him a shot right there. Maybe even just a little net code action there. But nonetheless, there is just slight contact and enough that it's going to knock that rear end loose on the 3 ride right there. There's the contact. Now, may not look exactly like contact, but definitely net code contact there that spins that 3 ride down into the infield. And unfortunately, goes for a slide down into the back straightaway pit area there, and unfortunately, that's where we see him try to get backed up and trying to roll back in on the racetrack, and luckily enough does catch another caution flag, but I'm not sure if it's enough to keep him on the lead lap. I think it is, though. I think he's still on the lead lap, still in the action here this evening. Is another Duck Donuts caution flag here in the QH Designs 150. As Anna says, we got enough room. Golf Country Club is right down the road from us, like 7 minutes. Oh! Anna, don't you talk me into it. I'll load up this system. I'll load up the PC and my monitor, all the stuff that I need right now and head on down. Don't you worry about that one. Oh, gosh. Oh, man, that would be so nice. Oh, man, I keep saying to all my buddies, like, why do we still live up here? Why do we live, like, why do I live in a country that, one, hates us as people and helps other people more than they help us, but at the same point in time, why do we live in a country where the weather outside is trying to kill us on a consistent basis, okay? It's trying to freeze us to death, okay? And then we pay most of our money to carbon tax for global warming. It ain't warm outside. 21 degrees Celsius or your 70 degrees Fahrenheit. We might have that high of temperature for 4 months of the year. Other than that, we don't see 70 degrees Fahrenheit up here in Canada. So, like, what in the world is going on? Like, we'll get that through the summer months, and that's it. Oh, man. Other than that, the temperature outside is trying to freeze us to death. That is for certain. As Matthew Catania, another great restart, another great launch out there on the Speedway. This time, though, you take a look up there and you do not see a couple of those cats that were right there with him trying to knock him out of the top spot. Rusty Modesty was down pit road. He's back in that 8th position now on the Speedway. You do take a look back. You saw, obviously, Matt Hayden, Clinton Woodby, also down pit side. They're on lap number 100. So they make these, late race pit stops with only 50 laps left to go. And they're going to be able to keep on rolling out there on the racetrack here and looking to try to work their way up towards the front. As we do see Nathan Somerville trying to rejoin this race as he's down low. Sideways is the 46 of Barry. Caution flag will come back out. So the caution flag will be displayed again, as this time, I see maybe some of the fresher tires back there trying to inch their way forward. And it looks like 5 right of Hayden just going to get into that left rear quarter panel. Enough of the 46. Finally, they bounce back off each other. And around goes Skylar Berry. Caution flag will come back out. And that will keep us rolling here on the Speedway. Now, we did see something here. Looks like a black flag. The 133 ride of Ashley Ellison Jr. as well. Okay, then. Not sure what's going on here with this one. I don't know what's going on with the 51 right of Stevenson either, because caution flag comes back out. He's sideways out of corner number 2. He's trying to save it. 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr. drives into the back end of them there. They're teammates, and I believe with that contact and the X for the number 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr. looks like he has been DQ'd from the race. So Ashley Ellison Jr. now down and out of this one. He is down pit side. Looks like he may be down there for the rest of this race. Too many issues, too many problems there for Ashley Ellison, and looks like his night is going to be done early here this evening. As Anna says, the hubby plays golf and Landon's dad plays golf. Okay, all right. Hey, well, we could get the boys together, a little golf game. I'm down for that. As Anna says, we only keep our heat on 62. Yeah, well, I mean, 62 is beautiful, man. I take 62 any day of the week. Anything above 40 is like a warm day for us up here in Canada. I love 40-degree weather. 40 degrees to like mid-50s, that's kind of like my favorite time of the year. That's like that, mid-spring to like mid-fall kind of deal where it's not too cold yet and it's not too warm out though either. Nighttime, you're wearing a nice comfy pair of sweatpants and a sweater. You can kind of just be comfy and comfortable and warm. That's kind of like my favorite time of the year. It's not too hot, not too cold either. That's like the perfect temperature. But trust me, I definitely would rather heat over the cold. That is for certain. I can always turn an AC on to combat the heat. I mean, I can turn a heater on to combat the cold, but like when you're outside, I mean, it's so uncomfortable to work in the cold, man. You think it's better than the heat, but it is not. I'd rather sweat than just get absolutely frozen, and you gotta wear 18 bundles of clothes and just hope that you can survive out there. As here we go, back to green flag racing, and talking about trying to survive. I think for a lot of these drivers, that's what they're trying to do right now, trying to survive the mayhem, trying to keep themselves out of trouble, and trying to save themselves from potentially the same fate as we saw for that 133 of Ashley Ellison there just a few laps ago, as Rooster Ronan jumps out front here. And Ronan's now leading this race, as I do believe he's going to get loose at a corner number 2 right there. Shoots down to the inside, as we did see Matthew Catania down pit side there on lap 107. So it seems like a lot of these drivers starting to take potentially their final set of tires, their final pit stop here, and waiting and racing here, trying to get to the front of the field. And for Caleb Kleinert, he's going to jump out in front, takes that top spot away from Rooster Rodden, but right there with them is that number 54 at David Trailer. Rusty Modesty, who's looked really fast here today as well, back there in that 4th position. Now here comes Clinton Wood, our pole sitter, now back up into position number 5 on the Speedway as he works his way around Jesse Calloway. Calloway's trying to battle back though in that outside lane, as tight battles here. A driver trying to inch their way forward as hang on to it. Matt Hayden slideways down and out of corner number 4. Luckily enough, able to catch it, able to keep it pointing in the right direction. We keep on staying clean and green out there on the Speedway, as we did see, unfortunately for Tyler Stevenson, looks like he still has something wrong with that 51 right. He's fallen back here to the 14th position, just trying to hold on here this afternoon. And for Nathan Somerville as well, he's also just kind of stuck back here. Looks like damage still for that 28 ride. Unfortunately, has found himself at least a lap down, but oh, there's contact, and there's a caution flag. It's a parking lot down and out of corner number 2. Caution flag. Oh man, big hits here, big damage for Rusty Modesty. A bunch of these drivers get absolutely tore up. Let's take a look here at it, as Modesty worked his way up and into third here. He's working underneath that 54 at David Trailer, and it looks like he just sends it into core number 1 way too quick and just gets onto the binders way too hard here. And unfortunately, as he does, the car just steps out on him. You see him drifting here. He's Tokyo drifting it out there on the racetrack, trying to get it back pointing the right direction, trying to keep it rolling here. Unfortunately, the drift doesn't quite work out, and eventually he finally goes a little bit more around down the racetrack, ends up tagging that 92 rider, Clinton Woodby. Some good damage there for Woodby. Then you see Catania trying to get through it. Luckily enough for Catania, he does miss it, but unfortunately, the 33, the 5 right, so many of these other drivers not as lucky. Man, big hits here for a couple of these cats, and for 6 right, man, that's a lot of damage here for him as well. Let's take another look at it here. Here we go. There's the contact into the 92, then into the 33. The 5 right gets into him. Oh, man, there's just a lot of cars tore up there. I believe that was the 46 of Skylar Berry as well, getting a piece of it. And potentially even the 97 truck here of Colton Hardy getting into it as well there, as Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. kind of bounces off of him. Looks like he got lucky enough, not major damage into the outside fence, but my gosh, that is a couple big hits out there. A lot of tore-off race trucks late in this race, and that's going to bring some of them down pit road for some late race repairs, trying to work their way back into the battle, and obviously that's going to stack us right back up and getting ready to go back to green flag racing, as we did see David Trailer come down pit road there. David led them down pit side with Caleb Kleiner, Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., Tyler Stevenson, Nate Cogdell, Rusty Modesty, all back down pit road there on lap 117. So that's going to leave Rooster Rod and Jesse Calloway out in front of the field here, getting ready for another restart after another Duck Donuts caution flag on the racetrack. As Anna says, we also have a paintball place, which I love. Ooh, a little paintball? All right. I like a little paintball. Paintball's fun. I could get on board with that. Paintball is always a blast, man. Paintball is always so much fun. So I'm down for that one as well. As here we go. Back to green flag racing. It's the 0-1 rider, Rooster Rod, and out in front. And there he goes. Oh, tough break there for Rooster Rod. And that is a South Park meme there, right there. When I think it's Kyle who's giving money to the bank, and he's like, I want to put 20 bucks into the bank, and it's gone. And oh, that's a heartbreaker for him, man. It was looking good, looking strong. Obviously worked his way back up there. That mistake, though, spinning the tires on that restart, sends him to the back of the pack here. And now we see Clinton Woodby out in front, but just trying to hang on to it. And it opens up the door for Matthew Catania, trying to work his way right back into that race lead. Catania's working down low, and he gets a great run here. He's going to beat that 92 of Clinton Woodby back down to the line. So move Matthew Catania back out in front of the field and looking for that inside groove. He's looking to try to keep these guys back there at bay as the fun is just getting started, man. There's going to be a lot of craziness out there on the racetrack. Yeah, slow clap for sure. It was a good reference. It was a lot funnier in my mind. If I had the meme queued up, it probably would have been pretty funny, but yeah, that was a tough one. As Anna says, it's about a 15-acre area for paintball. Whew. Oh man, I don't know if my that ass could run that far. I don't know if I could handle 15 acres. Oh my gosh, that'd be crazy. How many people can play at one time? Like, is it one arena, or is there like multiple arenas inside like the one compound, Anna? That's kind of crazy. As Matthew Catania, though, out in front, continuing to lead the way here as he's able to navigate his way through that traffic around some tight racing there at the front of the field, and he takes back control of this race late in this one with only 25 laps left to go. Clinton Woodby sits there in second with Colton Hardy back in third, but he doesn't hang on to it for long as Caleb Kleinert able to work his way back around it. So we get a pair of the CCR Esports rides back up inside our top three. And now we see Tyler Stevenson. Oh no, talking about the CCR rides and for Skylar Berry. Oh no, more drivers running into issues, and I think getting X'd out here for Tyler Stevenson and Skylar Berry. Their nights are going to come to a close. They have hit the incident limiter, and unfortunately, their nights have come to an end here this afternoon, early in this one. So for Barry and Tyler Stevenson, they are both down and off the racetrack, and they will be for the rest of the afternoon as their CCR teammate there for Stevenson. He's able to keep on battling, though, and Catania looking very strong here, man. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get it done. He had a rough qualifying effort. I wasn't sure if he had the speed in this 318 ride, but you can never count out Matthew, and here he is right up there at the front of the pack and looking really, really stout here late in this race, but the caution flag does come back out, and another late race yellow. Man, just going to stack them all up again. Just going to make things that much more interesting here late in this race. I believe it's the 4 ride here. The Liquid Death Machine. Jesse Calloway down and out of core number 2. Loses that rear end. Goes around as he makes contact there. Pretty decent contact with that inside fence. And at the same time, Keith Prince kind of does the same thing. I don't know if Prince just does it trying to get checked up or what happened here, because I don't know if there's oil on the racetrack right there, what in the world, but here he comes out of the corner, he steps on it as well, he shoots down into that inside fence, he gives it a kiss, and both drivers turned around. Doesn't look like major damage for either driver, so that's good news, but obviously caution flag coming back out. Now we'll have to stack them all up, rack them all up, and get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one as Catania leads the way here. Catania out in front as Teddy says, NASCAR Battle Royale. Last truck to hit the incident limit wins. Sponsored by Fortnite. Let's go, Fortnite! Fortnite. Let's go, Fortnite kids. Let's go. Let's go, baby. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Last truck standing wins. I kind of like that. And listen, we may get there. We may get there. We've had 3 of our 16 drivers get X'd out here this afternoon. So unfortunately for Barry, Stevenson, and Ashley Ellison Jr., they will not be able to compete for the rest of the afternoon. But for a lot of these other drivers, man, they got to be getting real close. When you look back through the field, Rooster Rodden, I think Somerville's went around a couple times. Jesse Calloway's had issues. Keith Prince has had a few problems. When you look at Matt Hayden or Nate Cogdell, Colton Hardy, they've been tied up in a few of those wrecks and a few of those problems as well. So there's quite a few drivers that I think are going to be right on the edge of that incident limiter here this afternoon. And there may only be a handful or 2 that survive here this afternoon and can pick up the checkered flag here today, but only one of them will find victory lane. And for right now, it's Matthew Catania who's looking to try to use that outside lane again to his advantage, trying to keep these drivers back there at bay. We've seen this time and time again. When he had Modesty down to his inside there, he was able to get great restarts, great launches, and for the most part, able to hang on and keep that 6th ride of Modesty back there at bay. But a few of those restarts, he was, Modesty was right there with them. So you gotta wonder, can Clinton Woodby find that group? Can Woodby potentially give him a run for his money? And here we go, down into core number 1. He does get that good run and looking to clear the 318, but this is the thing, just cannot quite clear him down and out at corner number 2, and unfortunately, that just allows him to stick right there with him. But there we go, contact back behind him. Caution flag will come back in. We'll have to wait and see how iRacing scores this, but for Clinton Woodby, that may give him control of this race. That may keep him out in front, and that may be the difference maker here this afternoon. That one restart, man, you gotta be, if you're Woodby, you gotta keep that inside lane now. It got you the lead. You gotta stick with it and hope that you can get a better launch and use it to clear that 318 right off of corner number 2. But take a look here, see what happens. I do believe that was the 0-0 of Cogdell. Looks like Modesty gets a piece of them right here as the Sinclair Dino Care. They're kind of just 2 wide, maybe even a little bit 3 wide here down into corner number 3. And, oh, you see right there, Modesty gets loose. See that truck just twitch a bit, and yeah, right here, you're going to see that car just step out on him, and as it does, he tries to crack it, but it washes up the racetrack into that left rear quarter panel of the QH Design 0-0 ride, and then that's just going to get 0-0 turn sideways, pointed the wrong direction. They come together again. They're out at corner number 4, but stop there on the racetrack. Yellow flag will be displayed, and another caution here on the racetrack. So another yellow flag and another restart on the horizon, and it is Clinton Woodby who's out in front here. So he's got control of this restart. Going to look to try to keep these guys back there at bay as all these yellow flags and getting a few green flag laps in there. We're still inching closer to this checkered flag, as I do believe with the lights still on here in the Duck Donuts caution flag here, another Duck Donuts yellow flag in the QH Designs 150, as I do believe this is yellow number 15 this afternoon. Yellow number 15. Whew. 15 caution flags. My gosh, that is crazy. I didn't think we were that high up already, but it has been pretty chaotic. It has been a lot of mayhem out there on the racetrack here this afternoon. For these drivers, though, they're still going to look to put on a show here in these closing laps, as we should see them get stacked up, racked up, ready to go here. And as we go back to green flag racing, it'll be 12 laps left to go here in this feature event. So 12 more laps left to get it done here in this one, as Clinton Woodby has control for this restart. What does the 92 ride do? Is the Sears Diehard number 92 will take us down and out of corner number 4 through that Geico restart zone, and here we go. Sees that green flag, gets a pretty decent launch here. That's probably going to be enough for him to clear Matthew Catania and hope that maybe they start a battle here to get out for that second spot. Allow him to try to run away with it enough that he can just keep them both back there at bay, as the CCR Esports teammates looking to try to hunt down and find their way back around Clinton Woodby here late in this race. Woodby's going to do everything he can to keep him back there, though, as here comes David Trailer. Here comes that 5 right of Matt Hayden. The 97 of Colton Hardy's right there ready to pounce as well, as he's just outside the top 5 looking in. You do see Rooster Rodden trying to race his way back up there. Same with Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. Keith Prince now into 9th. Somerville back on the lead lap for the 28 right. He rolls there in 10th. And out in front, Clinton Woodby just starting to find that speed. Oh, look out, Catania pushing it as hard as he can. Also got a little bit loose there at a corner number 2, and you got to wonder if he's pushing that hard, if he's going to continue to make mistakes trying to hunt down this 92 ride. If he does start to make more of those mistakes, will it affect his race? Will it affect his truck and maybe hurt his chances of being able to catch up and make the move around that 92, as he knows time is running out in a quick hurry. But another caution flag will give him another opportunity, as we do see Keith Prince once again down and out of corner number 2, going for a loop-de-loop here. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green, and for the 92 of Clinton Woodby, he is saying thank you very much. He did not want to see that caution flag come back out, as only 7 laps left to go, this time by the start-finish line. So 7 more laps for the 92 of Clinton Woodby. He's got half a second gap between himself and Matthew Catania, and that may be all he needs. Is now here we go, battling door to door for position number 2. Caleb Kleiner's looking to take that spot away from his teammate out there on the racetrack, and now it's going to open up the door for David Trailer to work to the outside of the 196, and for David Trailer right back up here into the battle at the front of the field. But man, he's kind of boxed in here. Not a whole lot of room for him to go in between these CCR Esports trucks at the front of the field, but this is exactly what Clinton Woodby wanted to see. As they continue to battle back there behind him, it's allowing him just to pull farther and farther away. Is now 0.8 of a second out in front of the field with only 5 laps left to go here in this feature event. It's down into the inside again, looking to try to make this pass. It just seems like it's an impossible position here for that 54 and David Trailer trying to work his way back onto the podium here this evening. And unfortunately, just the way that they were kind of lined up right there, Catania was blocking the outside lane, Caleb Klein was blocking the inside lane, and for David Trailer, he just had really nowhere to go. And it's kind of still the same here. Once again, he needs these guys to either get single file, or he needs to find another way to get around one of these drivers. And here we go. He's going to jump down to the inside now. He's going to look to try to make the move here on Caleb Kleiner. It's going to get tight down low, and there's the late race caution flag. Oh no, late race yellow is going to come out, as Nathan Somerville is going to run into some issues here. Nathan Somerville battling back here with the 33 ride, and not sure if it looks like there's a little contact, but really not much here, and it just looks like, again, for this 28 and Nathan Somerville pushing this truck maybe a little too far, and unfortunately lose the rear end here. So here they come, maybe a little contact right there. That might have been just enough there to obviously kind of knock this truck a little bit off its centering, and for the 28 ride, it gets a little sideways on him, and unfortunately just could not catch it, could not keep it from going around. Finally just kind of rolls around on him and stopped there in the middle of the racetrack. The 6th ride rolling up to him. The caution flag will be displayed, and now we get ready for a late race restart. So late race restart, and for Clinton Woodby, he did not want to see that. He did not want to see that caution flag. He wanted to see this stay clean and green for him to try to pick up the checkered flag here this evening. And now we head to NASCAR overtime here with these NASCAR trucks, man, and this is going to make things that much more fun, that much more interesting, as now it also brings Rusty Modesty back on the lead lap here. So Modesty back on the lead lap, so he'll be able to try to gain a few spots here late in this race, so that's a great break for him. But for Clinton Woodby, you'll have a 2-lap shootout here to try to keep these drivers back there at bay, and that's if we can complete 2 laps here on the racetrack, because things are about to get absolutely plumb wild here in a quick hurry, because it's going to be chaotic out there on the racetrack. And now for our NASCAR overtime, it'll be a 2-lap shootout. We will take the green flag if the leaders come back and take the white flag before a caution flag. Then the white flag will virtually end this race. The next flag will be the checkered flag no matter what, if the white flag gets displayed. But if the caution flag comes out before they complete that 1 lap and they don't see that white flag be displayed, then they will stack them up, they will rack them up, and they will do it all over again. This will be our first attempt at NASCAR overtime. I do believe we will have 3 attempts. So we have 3 attempts at NASCAR overtime. During that 3rd attempt, if they have a caution flag again, then it's just going to end the race under yellow. We do not want to see that. We want to see these guys at least be able to battle it out for these 2 laps and get this race in under the green flag conditions here this evening. And we're about to find out how the first attempt is going to go as NASCAR overtime. Here in the QH Designs 150 is down in through that restart zone. This time, great restart for Catania. Stuck a little bit more to that outside, but man, Woodby does exactly what he needed to do. Kind of wash that 318 up the racetrack there ever so slightly and back down the back straightaway, able to clear both drivers. And you see they're tight again together, and for Woodby takes the white flag. So the next flag will end this race no matter what. As out in front, it's Clinton Woodby with the race lead. Here comes Matt Hayden. He's around the 54, David Traylor, now looking for 3rd on Matthew Catania, but down through 3 and out of 4. Tight racing back there behind him. It's Clinton Woodby who will pick up the win, but Mayhem back down and across the line as they wreck down into corner number 1 on the Speedway. My gosh, these guys were giving it everything they got. Let's take a look back here at the back of the pack here. So for Woodby, great restart, great drive there for him, but back here for 2nd, you see Matt Hayden was able to work his way to the inside of the 318 machine, and all of a sudden, Catania sticking right there with them. They get a good run here underneath of the 196 of Caleb Kleinert. Here comes David Traylor Jr. He's going to work his way right underneath of them, basically taking it 3-4 wide right there, and then they get tied together. 196 gets hooked down the track into the 54, but being able to carry that momentum and not washing up the racetrack, David Traylor jumps into 2nd here this afternoon, picks up that 2nd place finish, and for Caleb Kleinert, even sideways and spinning there down across the line, comes home in that 3rd position. What a run, what a race, what a battle there late in this one, man. But it's all the 92 as Mr. Clinton Woodby picks up the checkered flag. He gets to celebrate here at Myrtle Beach Speedway, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance for him here this evening as we'll get ready to pull Clinton back up here into the broadcast booth for another night of amazing racing action, man. We'll get ready to pull him up here and into the broadcast booth in just a couple more seconds. But man, that was another Another really, really interesting race. Another crazy performance out there. And for all these drivers, gosh darn, that was another just amazing run out there on the Speedway. And I think for Clinton Woodby, I think this is 3 races in a row that he's won. Pretty sure he picked up the win there. Chicagoland, he picked up the win last week as well. So for Clinton Woodby, I do believe, man, this is his 3rd win in a row, and I believe that is his 3rd, 4th win, 5th win, 6th win. I believe 6 wins on the season, something like that, something crazy like that for that 92 truck. My gosh, he's been absolutely on fire here this and not only just this afternoon, but all season long. Let's get ready to pull him back up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview in just a couple more moments. Let's take a look and see where he's hiding. I don't know where he's at. Where's he at? Chat, where's he at? Okay, there he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Clinton Woodby. Hey, Clinton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Clinton, man, another great race, another crazy one here this afternoon, man. Take us back through it as somehow or another you're finally able to kind of race your way back up there late in this one with all the different kind of pitch strategies going on. You finally get an opportunity on a couple of those restarts to start to the inside of Catania. You get inside of them. You get a great launch on one of them there late in this race. And luckily enough for you, as you were still scored as the race leader, caution flag comes back out. It gives you control here of these restarts late in this race. And that's really what you needed here because you were able to get good launches, good battles there, using that inside lane on the restarts compared to Catania, who was taking the outside groove, and you're able to use it to pick up another checkered flag here on the season. I do believe your 3rd win in a row as well here on the season. So, man, you've been on a heck of a roll, and this was another heck of a race, man. Take us back through this one.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody, it seems like there might have been one other person that chose the bottom as the leader. I never really could get anything going on the outside, so if I had a choice, I was wanting the bottom all night anyways. Any restart where I was up top, it was almost a disaster for me. That one point in time, I think Keith got turned or spun or something in front of me, and I had to kind of check up and go really wide to miss all that and lost 2 or 3 spots. But yeah, feels good to be back in victory lane. I won this track last year, and for some reason, I've always liked Myrtle Beach Speedway. It was one of those tracks that before I even had iRacing, I was wanting to get on here to race on it. So it was one of the first tracks I bought. So I like whenever leagues use it because I don't really do any officials much anymore, so I don't really get to use all these tracks. But I appreciate Nate putting it on the schedule again. I know it was pretty hectic last year, so it would have been easy to just pass on Myrtle Beach and change it to somewhere else. But it's a very interesting track. I don't know, last year seemed very tight off corner, and this year it was very loose off corner, so had to adjust to that. And yeah, just kind of avoid everything that happened in front of me. I was just kind of there at one point in time whenever I pit and most people stayed out. I was just kind of riding, and then me and Rusty kind of started going through the pack, and then he spun out in front of me. I thought it did a bunch of damage on the truck, but it didn't do enough. So yeah, it just feels good to be back in victory lane.
Yeah, absolutely. A place that you've gotten very familiar with here over the season. I don't even know what that is for you now. Is this win 6, win 7 now on the season for that 92 machine?
I think it's 5 or 6. I honestly, it's gonna sound cocky, but I don't count them. After the first one, I know I've got the one and I'm in the playoffs. So because we still do the winning in, I believe, I hope, I think. Either way, I've got a bunch of bonus points if not. And most of the time when it comes down to the playoffs, I've always caught myself 5 or 6 points behind in bonus points, and that's because I've never really been aggressive at the beginning of the races. I've just kind of rode it out and played it out. Plus last year we kind of had limited tires to kind of help us race a little better, so you kind of had to choose when you wanted to double stint tires last year versus this year. You can kind of just go race, and to me that's a lot better format. You get a lot better entertainment out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely makes things that much more interesting, that much more fun out there on the Speedway. And yes, just looking at the point standings right now, that was your sixth win on the season. And talking about those bonus points, I mean, the bonus points are really, really tight there between you and Trailer, Catania, Caleb Kleiner. You guys are all kind of right around that 22 to 25 points out there on the racetrack. But now you obviously gained yourself some more here tonight with another win, and obviously, trying to grow that points lead between you and David Trailer, trying to pick up their regular season championship as well, which may come with even more bonus points as he came into tonight 10 points ahead of that 54 right now. I'm not sure exactly when the stage caution kind of was thrown there. I don't know if it came out a little early with a couple of those other yellows or if we got to that caution or not, but obviously that may have given him a couple points there, and there at the end of the final lap, down into corner number 4, he's able to get by Caleb Kleinert and Matt Hayden and Matthew Catania to jump up into position number 2 here this afternoon. So you didn't really gain too many points on him there late in this race, but obviously maybe still enough to grow that points lead here a little bit more going into our final couple races before the playoffs get started.
Yeah, I had no clue he finished that far up ahead. I thought I'd seen him pit earlier in the race on like lap 80 something. And me, Rusty, and Matt were all trying to go to lap 100 before we pit because if it kept going the way it was going, you weren't going to need another set of tires. You were just going to ride around under caution. And when we all seen David pit, we were like, well, he just won the race because we thought, everybody else, we're all going to have to pit. He's just going to stay in the back, ride around, and save his tires until we all pit and he comes out ahead of us. But I think he kept getting caught up in something behind us because every time we had a caution, I would see him and my relative kind of close and then he would just be gone. So I assumed he just got caught up in pretty much everything tonight. So kind of surprised to see him make his way back up there. I seen calamity happen off of turn 4 on the last lap, so I don't know what all happened there.
Yeah, he definitely just kind of saw that calamity kind of getting started. I think he had the premonition that they may get tangled up on the outside of corner number 4, so he kind of hugged the inside wall, got a good drive down and out of 4 on the very bottom of the racetrack, and it seemed like Hayden and Catania got together, then they got up into Caleb Kleiner, which spun Kleiner down the racetrack into the 54, but luckily enough for David, he was already far enough ahead of those guys that he was sideways across the line in second, and Kleiner was sideways across the line in third, and everyone else just kind of piled into the back end of that 318 and the 5 ride for what was another crazy finish here in the Metalheads Truck Series.
Oh, yeah. And I will say one thing. I was a little scared on that last restart, but I had pretty good faith that Caleb in behind me, I wasn't going to get dumped. I mean, I know anything's possible, but I appreciate him for not just sending it into the corner and he probably wouldn't have wrecked me, but he probably had a chance to go and just drive in there and push me up the track and put me in front of Catania and just drive below me. So appreciate him for just keeping it clean all night. Catania and everybody running clean all night.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that. Love the good, hard, respectful racing there. And yeah, obviously, I mean, for Catania, Kleinert, I mean, even, that third row, I mean, could have easily shoved one of those guys, a little farther forward or a little too far through that first corner there on the restart, in which case could have kind of wiped all of you guys out of it. So everyone doing a great job there. I'm happy that we were able to only have to do the one NASCAR overtime and not have to use up that second or potentially even that third one here this afternoon, as this was definitely another crazy race, another wild one. We talked about it throughout this one. It kind of runs like a little bit of like Iowa, maybe a little bit like Martinsville, where you can kind of get into these races where there's so many caution flags, then it's all about who's the first driver kind of deal down pit road, making the final pit stop of the day. And that can a lot of times be that race winner. And it looked like for Trailer, he was trying to use that as his thesis and his way to potentially try to end up in victory lane here this evening, but he was down pit road a lot. He didn't actually get tied up in a ton of issues, but he was down pit road there 6 times this afternoon. Not really getting damage repaired, but it just seemed like he was coming down pit road there a lot, kind of just getting that little top up on fuel. He'd run 5-6 laps, and then he'd come back down pit road, get a little bit more fuel, then doing the same thing there quite a few times, midway through this race.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We had 100 laps we could go on fuel, so he might have had a little bit of damage that no one could notice getting fixed or something. It doesn't take much to get. I think Matt had, whenever I seen his right front fender, I could see a very small, almost scratch on it, and that it told him he had 50 some seconds of repair just from that. So that's why I was worried that whenever I was getting into the calamity there at the end, that I was going to end up damaged too much to even compete. But somehow the truck just held up.
Yeah, held up and held on as you park that 92 up and in victory lane again this season, Clinton. Who would you like to thank again tonight for another amazing show and another amazing performance out there on the Speedway?
Shout out to my girlfriend Megan and Blair Peterson, the Win a Bid diecast. Go get all your NASCAR stuff from him. And all my teammates tonight. I know Matt didn't have a good outcome. I think he got dumped or something there at the end, and Rusty spun out or whatever happened to him ahead of me. And Colton, he got this. I don't have Trade Paints Pro right now, so he got this paint scheme to where I could use it tonight and not just be driving a blank truck. So appreciate him for that, and you guys for the broadcast, and everybody for running the league.
Absolutely, brother Clinton. Great run, great race here tonight, man. We can't wait to see you guys back in action again next Monday and see if you can try to park yourself right back up here in victory lane.
Yep, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can talk Michael Jordan into starting a truck team and giving us a ride.
Yeah, absolutely. They may have to start giving you the nickname of Tyler Reddick around here if you keep picking up these
They're
wins.
gonna have to start calling him Clinton Woodby.
All right. I like that one. All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep, have a good one.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there as the 92 truck of Clinton Woodby picks up his 6th win on the season here in that 92 machine. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place driver in the race and our second place driver in the points, the 54 at David Trailer. Hey, David, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, I got you.
David, man, another great race, another great run for you here this afternoon. Obviously, a lot of caution flags, a lot of calamities out there. We see you tied up in a couple of them, but, we see a lot of pit stops there, obviously trying to get some of that damage repaired, and then a lot of different strategy here late in this race. And then late in it, it seemed like you had, maybe a little bit better tire, a little bit better truck there, but Caleb Kleiner and Matthew Catani were just kind of battling, not quite side by side, but just opposite lanes there through the corners, and it kind of just had you trapped there in that 4th position for so long late in this race. And then we see that late race caution flag come out. Obviously, a bit of craziness on that restart as Hayden kind of pokes his nose into that battle. You kind of get shoved back into about that 5th position, and then down out of corner number 4, coming to the checkered flag. You just drive right down underneath these guys as they rack up there to your outside. They end up tagging you and clipping you into it, but not before you're able to put the power down out of 4 and steal that 2nd spot back away from them as you park the 54 ride up here on the podium again this afternoon. What was a crazy finish and a crazy race, man. Take us back through and what's going through your mind here as the smoke settles here at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Yeah, that was a pretty eventful race. I led a lot of laps. I feel like I had pretty good long run speed. That obviously didn't really matter. I kind of got off strategy. I just had a tiny bit of a feeling that maybe we could go green, so I pitted from the lead and thought, okay, well, if we go green from here, I'm good on fuel, and I can just ride this thing out. And the very next caution I get caught up in, so that plan kind of went out the window. And from there, just trying to survive. Short tracks have a lot of different braking points, so it was a matter of making sure you're not running over the guy, but also trying not to get run over from behind. And I mean, these guys, the trucks were on edge tonight. It was definitely loose, it was snappy loose. It wasn't easy to control by any means, but no, just tried to work way back up. I kind of got back up there and then caused to wreck myself by getting into the 90 or the 46. So I do apologize to him. Got myself sent to the back and had to do it over again. Kind of worked my way through some strategy doing it, and from there just tried to settle in. yeah, just trying to avoid wrecks. You know, they can happen anywhere at any time. But overall, you know, I got the restart with 2 to go, green white checkered. I was on the outside. I felt good. The 318. I didn't like his entry into one. It caused me to check up earlier than I wanted to, and I couldn't turn down the hill like I wanted to, and that was kind of all she wrote. And had to give up fourth to the 5 there on the white flag lap, and just was like, well, I'm just gonna drive it into the bottom because if anybody overdrives this, they're gonna go up the track. So drove it in on the bottom, made it stick, and you know those guys they're racing for everything they've got. They're coming out of 4 to the checkered flag, so I can't really blame them for trying. But you know they found themselves in a tough spot. Clipped me there at the end, and I was actually surprised I got second. I turned down the hill when I saw 3 cars in my windshield and came across the line in second, so that was kind of neat. But yeah, like you said, another good week, another P2 to the 92. I'll catch him eventually. I may have to put the bumper to him, but we'll see. But overall, it's hard to complain. I'm pretty satisfied with the P2 tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And a night that could have went polar opposites, could have been a whole lot rougher on you out there on the speedway. You're able to park it up here back, as I said, into that second position. Unfortunately, the one car that beats you again here this evening is the same guy that you've been battling and trying to, fight here the last few weeks for the championship lead for obviously the regular season championship. And again here tonight, he's able to pick up the win, gains those bonus points, also gains a little bit more ground on you here potentially to maybe stretch out the 10-point lead he had here for that regular season championship after tonight. So obviously that stings a little bit, but I mean, still coming home in second, still got to feel pretty good out there on the racetrack, keeping these guys back behind you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough time. It's gonna take a really bad week from him to have a shot at the regular season championship. But not to say I'm not gonna try. Obviously I'm gonna get everything I got. I don't come out here to run second. I come out here to try to win. So does he. But no, he's found his groove late in the season, and nobody's really had an answer for him. P2 sucks when you keep doing it over and over again. But like I said, we're gonna try to catch him. It's not just me. It's you see these guys running up front, the 196, the 318, the 5, the 97, the 01, the 6. Just about anybody's got a chance any given week. There's a very very small difference between first and 10th. All it takes is one bad crash or one bad lap, and your week can go south. So, like I said, we'll give it a go again next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Still some time, still a couple races left before the end of this regular season and the playoffs get underway. But for obviously everyone out there, man, they've been chasing that 92 ride. They're hoping to knock him off the top spot. As he was getting out of his interview, he said, that we're going to either have to start calling him Tyler Reddick, and he said, no, they're going to have to start calling Tyler Reddick Clayton Woodby.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I know he's got the skill. If I pump the bumper to him, he won't crash. So I might have to just rough him up a little bit, see what happens.
Yeah, ruffle him up there, rattle the cage, kind of get him out of his groove. Maybe it'll open up the door to steal a win away from him here late in this regular season, and maybe just try to, get that edge on him throughout the playoffs as well. But David, another great run, another great race for yourself tonight, man. Who'd you like to thank for a great performance out there on the Speedway?
Yeah, first off, thanks to the main sponsor on the truck, as always, QH Design. I can't thank Colton and the guys over there enough for all the support that they give me and the league itself, along with the rest of the league sponsors. Duck Donuts, Admin Box, CCR Esports, you for putting the broadcast on. I love going back and watching these every week. Super fun, super entertaining from your point of view. Big thanks to the rest of the admins. Nights like tonight are not easy to do. A lot of cautions, a lot of tempers flaring. It gets kind of painstaking for a little bit there. So big thanks to the rest of the admin team. Thanks to the field for showing up. I know we're getting late in the season. It gets harder and harder to find a reason to show up. But really appreciate the guys that do week in and week out. it makes the league better as a whole. And I really appreciate them for doing that. And then thanks to my dad watching at home and my wife for letting me do this.
Absolutely, brother. Well, David, another great run, another great race for you, man. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack again next Monday, and maybe right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe for a change, one spot better and into victory lane there before Clinton would be.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for David Trailer, our second place finisher. Here this evening as we'll get running out to pull in our third place cat out there on the racetrack, the 196 of Caleb Kleinert. Hey, Caleb, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, man.
Caleb, man, another great run, another good performance for you here this afternoon. Obviously, a lot of mayhem, a lot of chaos out there. For the most part, you were able to keep that 196 ride pretty clean and pretty checked out from any of that carnage. But obviously, tight racing here, tight battles out there on the racetrack. A lot of door-to-door action here, and obviously, there late in this one, it looked like you were able to maybe hold off, Matthew Catania, your teammate, and Matt Hayden and David Trailer, and then all of a sudden at a corner number 4, looks like Hayden and Catania get timed together. They wash up India. That pushes you down the racetrack where you bounce off the 54 ride. Luckily enough, you're able to finish off still in that third position. But man, crazy night, crazy racing action, and here you are being able to finally, obviously pick up another podium performance for yourself out there on the racetrack, but didn't come without some tough work out there on the Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've ran a lot better than our finish to show, so it's nice to finally get up here, get to talk to you after one of these things. I know it's been a couple weeks, like since Knoxville probably. I was hoping to get clear of Matt a little sooner. I felt like I had more drive center off than would be, and everybody I was around. I couldn't put the power down like I needed to since I had people on the outside of me constantly. So I was trying to get clear. I overdrove it that final restart, just trying to get clear so I could possibly be able to get to Woodby's bumper and move him up the racetrack. But just it's overheated the right rear, and like I said, I didn't even watch the replay of the finish there, but I know off of 4. I slid getting into 3, never regained grip. I don't know if I got touched or not off of 4 that finally sent me the rest of the way around, but hate it for David and everybody else that got tore up in that after the finish and probably added some incident points that was not deserved. That's on me. But yeah, that instant it was kind of just hammer down and hope we slide across the line in a decent spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're able to keep your foot into it, still pick up a podium performance here this evening in what was a crazy finish to what was already a pretty crazy night. It's obviously so many caution flags and being a short racetrack. I mean, obviously everyone kind of knew that it was going to play out like it did here last year, or kind of like what we've seen at Iowa or Martinsville, where you kind of get into these lulls with all these yellow flags where it's almost, the first driver to make that final pit stop tends to be in that best position as everyone else pits after he does, and it kind of just cycles him back to the front of the field, and obviously not really having to push too hard or burn those tires up with 1 or 2 lap runs and then the caution flags again. And slowly but surely, that guy gets back out in front and then into that prime position to try to win this race. And it seemed like for a lot of drivers here tonight, that was kind of what the game plan was. That was what everyone was trying to do here, towards that final 50 laps of this feature event. And for yourself, it came down a little bit later and it almost paid off for you because it seemed like maybe you had a little bit better tire there. Even for David Trailer, he was right there with you, trying to find a way to get around that 318 ride late in this race to trying to reel in Clinton Woodby, but it just seemed like, neither of you guys could finally complete that pass on Catania there until later in that run, and then obviously the late race caution flag came out.
Yeah, it's so tough to pass here too, especially if I noticed tires didn't really fall off too much unless you went more than 20 laps on them, and after so many heat cycles, all the cautions, it kind of levels it out. Like I think speed wise, the tires didn't fall off a whole lot, like I said, but the benefit was the grip that you could just put the power down center off. You did lose a lot of grip, it seemed like, but yeah, I wanted to pit when Woodby did, honestly. That was kind of my number that I was looking for around. I think it was around lap 50 to go, in that range, I believe. But I knew I also had to try something different because I got myself behind earlier on. So just tried something, swing and a miss there. But still just glad to be able to come home third here. I wasn't sure that was gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you were able to do it. You're able to pick up that third place performance here again tonight for yourself, Caleb. Who would you like to thank for obviously another good run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
Everybody at CCR Esports, Matt Holden, he does a lot for us. I don't know why he don't ever come race with us, but he does a lot. But no, Ashley, he put in a lot of laps this week around here. I hate it for him. He got incident pointed out, just got caught up in everybody else's mess. But no, he put in a lot of laps this week and gave us a good amount of info. The Majula C Speed Shop, they always all their support, great setups for the open setup races. If you're looking to get into that dirt or asphalt, we're actually looking to hire another asphalt builder. So if you know how to build setups, get in touch with me or anybody with Majula C. Represent LTD, 5 Star Tire Specialties, Paper Cuts. Uh, I'm sure I'm forgetting someone else too, but you guys for doing the broadcast, Nate and everybody running the league as always, giving us something to do here on Monday nights.
Absolutely, brother. Always our pleasure as another wonderful night of racing action into the history books here with the Metalheads Truck Series. Now we can't wait to see you guys back in action again next Monday. See what you guys got in store for us in the next one and see if we can maybe find this 196 ride right back up here in the broadcast booth. Maybe a couple spots better and up in Victory Lane.
I hope so. Vegas is always a good place for me, and I always just cost myself on pit road. So hopefully we can, um, you know, have the speed that we've had the past couple times we went there, and not speed on pit road or spin getting on pit road or any of that mess.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, just a clean sheet down pit sign out there on the racetrack for you. And I'm sure without a doubt we'll see you right up here battling there at the front of the field like you did tonight. Caleb, congrats on a great run. Congrats on the third place finish, man. And we'll see you back out there in Sin City.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Caleb Kleinert, as Kleinert comes home in position number 3. Solid run, solid drive there for that 196 here this evening, man. Some great racing, some great battles, great runs out there on the racetrack for each and every one of these competitors. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here this evening. Racing action has come to a close, and for all these drivers, it is time to load up their rides, head to the from the East Coast to the West Coast, to virtually the West Coast there at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for next Monday's feature event here with the Metalheads Truck Series. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. We'll be back up in the booth tomorrow with some more racing action, as the NASCAR trucks will be back in action again tomorrow night with the HCK Beagles Truck Series for what should be another great show and another great race there for our Tuesday night series as well. And hopefully we'll see you guys all back up in the grandstands, cheering those drivers on and enjoying some more amazing racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all back here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber birds on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast Pacemaker friction sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that clown through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skins twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name.